Hey everyone, so today's video we're talking about the fastest heroes in the game. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but every once in a while I like to go into the index and just click on heroes that I really haven't used a lot, see if maybe they'd be good in dungeons, if they'd be good for PvP, anything like that. And every once in a while I'll come across heroes where I'm like, wow, I didn't know this hero was that fast. They seem slow. Or wow, I didn't know that character's speed was as low as it was. And then you come across heroes like Garnet, who have really high base speed, but whenever you're using them in RTA or Guild versus Guild, it just seems like they're slower than other heroes, and you don't know why. The thing is there's a lot of reasons why that hero is getting outsped. It doesn't solely base itself on base speed. Now, I've referenced this in a couple different videos, how a bunch of things come into play. But I've finally gotten around to putting together a spreadsheet with the help of someone who's quit the game. This is a spreadsheet that this person was working on. I had about 70% done, and I just kind of took it upon myself to add some new characters, add some new columns. But the reason why I'm able to show you this today is because of him. So big shout out to him. His name was Gohi. Sadly, he quit, but I really appreciate that he's given me access to this chart because now I can share it with you guys. So, heroes like Goobag. Goobag has the fastest base speed in the game, but he is not the fastest hero. So, without further ado, these are the things that go into a character, right? So you have your normal speed, your base speed, glyph speed, and the speed that you could possibly get from the physique mastery. What I mean by that, I'm sure all of you, or at least most of you know, there are some heroes that on their mastery tree in this physique section, sometimes they can get plus 15 speed, sometimes they can't. Sometimes there's things up here like crit damage. Sometimes there's health, it just depends. So I put together this little list to show you who the fastest heroes in the game are. This is the summary. So the top 10 fastest heroes in the game are Fire Melissa on her very first turn. This is her max base speed with the calculation of that 45% increase to her speed. Then Joseph, who is an elite hero. Then you have Hugh, which is another epic hero. I'm sure a lot of people didn't know he was this fast. And then you have 3 really fast LDs, which is Desdemona, Aubrey, Dark Ophelia. Then you have Halia, which is the fastest RGB Lego. And then you have your second turn Melissa. And then you have a 3-way tie again with Goobag, Shane, and Divine Yolanda. So Goobag is pretty fast, but even though he has the fastest base speed in the game, he's only the 7th fastest hero. So that is pretty telling. Then you have Yolanda, Viola, Winstrex, Cirrus, Vance, Kyle, and Kelowna. So yeah, this is everything that goes into the speed of a character. On top of that, what I did was I added in another column here, which is the ascend speed. So this base speed, if you ever look at heroes in-game in the index, you'll see, and I have an example for you as well. So if we go to Soul Plunders, right, and we click on someone like Ackerley, and you see Ackerley's speed here at 122. But whenever you go to the Ackerley that I actually own, which is level 70, and you look at his speed, it's 107. So you're like, what the heck? But what you don't know is in the index is calculating that you have Ackerley ascended. So it's counting Ackerley having 122 speed if you have him A4. So that is a really big thing as well. The reason why I want to share this with you guys is to really help you understand turn orders whenever it comes to Arena. Mostly. Guild versus Guild, it also helps as well, unless they come out with some kind of some kind of buff for the defending team, like they do now, where it's damage reduction. They might come up with a speed, thing that prohibits the offensive team, to have a downside or something like that. Or even an RTA where you're like, okay, well, I know I'm going up against a certain, ascended character. I don't think I can outspeed, and then it helps with your pick order. So if you see here, this is a prime example. Desdemona has 140 base speed, which is the same as Aubrey. They have the same glyph speed, right? So the amount of glyphs that give them 31 speed is the same. And then they also get 15 speed from their mastery. But you'll see that Aubrey only has the 140 speed if you have 5 additional copies. So Desdemona at A1 will always outspeed Aubrey. Gear dependent as well, as long as Aubrey is not A5. If Aubrey's A5 and Desdemona is A1, then it will just come down to the gear. They have the same exact base speed, and this is what this chart is supposed to show you. So the other thing is if you're going up against a Desdemona that is, A0, they don't have any additional copies. It's just the base Desdemona, so she doesn't have the 15 speed. That means any character over 171 speed, like these characters right here, if they have their ascension requirements, they're going to outspeed Desdemona if you have extremely fast gear, the same amount of speed gear that the Desdemona has. So it's really telling, how important some of these glyphs and mastery, the speed masteries are to make your heroes fast. And I added that ascending speed column because I really want people to pay attention whenever people are picking these heroes or have defenses set up that lets you know how fast that character really is. Elise is one of those new seasonal heroes that had really, really great glyphs along with the speed mastery. So if you look at a hero like Alicia and you're just looking at her in the index, you'll see that she has 134 base speed, and Elise has 128 speed. And you're like, oh, well, Elise isn't as good because Alicia is always going to outspeed her. Not the case, because Elise is only 1 speed slower than Alicia when it all comes down to it, right? 1 speed, because Alicia's glyph speed is only 26, Elise's is 31. But on top of that, Alicia needs A3 to get that 134 speed, where Elise only needs A2. So there's a lot of variables that go into winning the speed race. So pay attention to that. Use this as a guide to really help you understand how to win speed wars, as well as turn order. Whenever you have enough time to pick teams, and we're going to come out with a video, later this week talking about counters and why speed is important, we'll reference this list. But if you have enough time in arena offense where you're going up against an arena defense, you can see where the heroes are going to kind of play out, and allows you to pick and choose the right type of heroes that you need to win that fight. So I hope that this spreadsheet is going to be really helpful for everybody. So I have not added this ascend speed to the epic heroes, mainly because epic heroes are just so much easier to get. You have a way to actually farm the ascension potion for them in what's it called? Trial. I guess you have a way to farm the legendary as well, but this one is a lot more accessible. And then also it's much easier to pull epics than additional copies of legendaries. But do not sleep, on some of these epic heroes, right? I mean, Kyle, very fast. Hugh, Again, I don't think a lot of people knew that Hugh has 191 total base speed. And getting his ascensions is much easier than getting, ascensions of Desdemona. So if you invest in Hugh, Hugh is going to be the fastest hero on the battlefield 99% of the time, unless he goes up against Melissa or Joseph. You have new additions here, like Tidecaller. So Tidecaller can be faster than Alicia, which is one of the premier heroes in RTA. So, just things to consider. Same thing with Kelowna. This is all going to play into a video that we're coming out with, later this week. So I just want to put this out there. I want to show you guys who some of the fastest heroes were in the game and introduce this table to you to hopefully help you, in preparing your heroes for Arena. It also even helps in the PvE space. So anyway, I hope this helps. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.